All right, it is Thursday. It's 9 o'clock. That can only mean one thing.
It is time for the Thursday Thriller live stream.
Thriller Thursday live stream.
Okay.
We're still working on it. Thriller Thursday live stream. Welcome to Dread Alert. If you're new here, I'm Vince.
I'm Sarah.
And we cover horror across all forms of media. Today we're covering a lot of horror movies. Less horror books, less horror comics this week. We are deep in the throes of 31 Days of Halloween.
Woo, aren't we?
Yeah.
And we've watched a lot of movies on top of the movies that we're already watching. I feel like we're just trying to torture ourselves.
I don't know. We've put in at least, I'd have to say, 12 movies.
Yeah.
Between us, and probably more between us, actually. I've probably put in 12 on my own. We've watched some of the same movies.
Correct.
But we've watched some different ones, too.
We have.
There's also a lot of horror news this week. There's a lot of stuff cooking.
Lots of stuff going on.
Lots of trailer drops, a couple video game pieces.
Yeah.
We have some horror trivia sitting right in front of me, all ready to go. So if you're down for the ride, we will jump right in with news.
News. All right. So, I mean, we have to kick it off with Terrifier 3, right?
That's probably why people are here anyway. We have Terrifier 3 in the description.
Terrifier 3 was #1 at the box office.
I'm happy to have contributed at least a little bit to this. We saw Terrifier 3 last week. I loved Terrifier 3.
Yeah.
I can't speak for you.
I love Terrifier 3 as well. Not as much as you did, but I certainly loved it.
Terrifier 3 is coming in towards the top, maybe not at the top of my 2024 list. I had a great time with this movie. I feel like subtle tone shifts in this movie put it ahead of Terrifier 2 for me, even.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I really enjoyed this movie. It was so funny. It was so funny. I wasn't expecting to laugh as much as I did, but I found it to be so funny.
And I think it was dark without being mean-spirited. And I think that's really where this movie excelled for me. It was super dark, but I don't feel like it was quite as mean-spirited as All Hallows Eve, or Terrifier 2. I think that art was a little bit more playful in this one.
Yeah.
And I think the new mask that they made for David Howard Thornton might have contributed a lot to that. It's a silicone mask. It's not latex anymore. And silicone's going to give you more facial movement, more facial feature registering on there. You're going to see more of what's behind the mask with silicone. Right. And this one, for the first time, was not the Mike Giannelli mask that they had made in the initial shorts in 2013 and around that time. So they made David Howard Thornton his own mask. Christian Tinsley from Tinsley Productions made David Howard Thornton a mask for his head, which, I don't know, it went a long way in showing Art's facial features and expressions.
Yeah, I would agree with that. If you are looking for more of our Terrifier thoughts, please check out our review that we've done on the channel after you're done watching this live stream, of course.
There's also a reaction short that we made right after we saw the movie, and we got back here and just went wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So it's #1 at the box office. It beat out Joker 2.
It did.
What else is going on?
So there was some protesting that was going on outside of the theater. We had some, groups that tend to not like things that are blasphemous.
Yeah.
That were protesting outside of the theater, I believe, in Kansas City.
It did seem like that.
Yeah, Kansas City, Missouri. So I love that David Howard Thornton was like, "We're doing something right." I just think that that's perfect.
I think so too. And is it a Satanic Santa movie? I don't think so. But if you're gonna step on Santa imagery,
that they're like, it's the Satanic Santa imagery that's the problem in this movie. Tell me you haven't seen the movie without telling me you haven't seen the movie.
There are far more problematic elements to this movie than Satanic Santa, for sure.
Yeah, but I think that that's kind of funny. I mean, they've kind of hit the mainstream whenever you got the groups out protesting the film.
I think whenever you're #1 in the country for that weekend, you've probably arrived at the mainstream. And it's so important that this is an independently funded movie. There's no studio interference. You have a creator whose vision made it to the screen nearly unedited. And I think that's a really special thing in and of itself, let alone being #1 in the country while you're doing it.
Oh, absolutely. I think that it's just fabulous. And we also got some news about a steelbook.
Oh, yeah. And a boxed set. The Terrifier Steelbook is available for pre-order on Amazon. We will be pre-ordering it for sure. We have the Terrifier 2 Steelbook. I'm still waiting for a 4K version of Terrifier, the original Terrifier.
Yeah.
There's not a good 4K version that I'm aware of in our region. There are some other regions that have gotten it, but we've not.
Right.
The box set looks interesting, though.
Yeah.
It has the Trick or Treat Studios blood soap bar.
Correct.
It has a barf bag.
Yes.
And frankly, you may need it. One of our commenters said they absolutely did. It has the mini mask. I believe that's also Trick or Treat Studios.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. The Art the Clown mini mask. It has
an enamel pin.
An enamel pin. I was going to say a keychain, but it's an enamel pin as well.
And Art the Clown selfie Polaroid replicas.
I love that.
I know.
And I'm very tempted to get this box set, but physical media.
Oh, and an ornament.
I said the ornament.
Oh, did you? I'm so sorry.
Trick or Treat has these lovely ornaments. We actually have a ghost ornament of Cardinal Copia in this studio right now.
Yes.
They make really great ornaments. I just, physical media space is at a premium, and if I get that box set, I'm not going to want to piecemeal it out.
Right.
And put it everywhere.
Yeah.
Keep it all together.
Yeah. Did you see some of the special features that are going to be on there?
They look very exciting.
Yeah, the making of Terrifier 3, a eulogy log, bloody stills collection, and Art Attack documentary sneak peek. Now, what is that?
I don't know, but I would love to see it. If there is a documentary about Terrifier, I'm here for it.
I want to see it. I want to know what this is. Please tell me. I guess I'm gonna have to wait. But yeah, if you're looking for that, definitely give it a consideration. It's saying that it's available Steelbook, 4K Ultra, 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, DVD from Bloody Disgusting, Screambox, and Cineverse.
We will be waiting with bated breath for it. It looks like it comes out in January, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
January. I'm gonna say January 25th, although don't quote me on that. Go to Amazon, check it out if you are an Amazon shopper.
Yes. And we got some other exciting horror movie news. Ready or Not 2 is coming, which is very exciting. So Samara Weaving is coming back.
Yeah, the team from Radio Silence dropped a TikTok.
Yeah, they're bringing it back, and I will be interested to see how they do this.
I don't know. Maybe she gets real into hide and seek after the last one, like a hide and seek connoisseur.
Is she gonna become the bad guy?
I don't know. Who knows? Listen. Anything is possible. They're doing a sequel to Ready or Not.
Are they gonna go to hell and
I doubt they're gonna go
play
to
with
hell.
the family? I would love that though, because
listen, save it for Terrifier 4.
Ugh. That's a spoiler. If you
It's not a spoiler.
Yeah.
Terrifier 4 has just been announced. We have no idea what the plot is.
Yeah, but if they haven't seen Terrifier 3 yet.
But they don't. There's nothing in Terrifier 3 that would even. That's my theory. That's
that's your theory.
There's nothing in Terrifier 3 that cements going to hell.
No, that's fair. That's fair. There is nothing that would cement that. It could certainly be
a possibility. But there's nothing that says,
well, yeah, and
next stop, hell. We're not on a train here or anything.
We're also not Damien, so,
we have no inside information.
I know nothing. I know nothing. But yes, I'm very excited about Ready or Not 2. Love Samara Weaving.
Yeah, she's great.
Loved that movie. Love her as the final girl in that film. So I'll be very interested to see what is going to pop up. We also got a new trailer for a found footage horror movie called Devon. Now this film is directed by Jersey Shore star Jenny J. Wow Farley.
Sure is.
Now, I've not actually watched any episode of Jersey Shore ever in my life. So
how have you not seen an episode of Jersey Shore?
I have never seen an episode of Jersey Shore.
That is a weird situation to find yourself in, Sarah.
I mean, I know of Jersey Shore, but I've never.
You love reality. I have seen multiple episodes of Jersey Shore. Yeah.
Okay.
You love reality TV. I'm shocked that you've never seen an episode of Jersey Shore. Wow.
Never. I've seen clips. So I know that,
See, I think that might be more sad. That's sadder to me. You've watched clips of Jersey Shore and never a full episode.
I think I've seen clips on, The Soup or, you know what I mean? I don't think that it wasn't a situation where I where I went out and sought after Jersey Shore clips.
Listen, this was before streaming. You just turn on MTV and you're exposed to it.
Now I know what you were doing.
Listen, college is a weird time.
When did it come out?
It had to be in the mid-2000s at some point, right?
I'm not looking this up.
Don't look that up.
Anyway, Devin is coming on November 12th. So I watched the trailer for this.
It doesn't look bad.
It seems very interesting. Yeah. Really, the trailer did not let up at all.
I think that was my biggest complaint, is that I know nothing about the movie and I was barraged with action sequences.
Yeah, that's what I felt too. I was like, wow, they're just showing us a bunch of action, huh?
There's a missing kid.
Woo, buddy.
And people who go looking for him go missing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's all I gathered from the trailer.
It's so following their daughter's mysterious disappearance, Devin's parents never stopped searching for the truth. After the asylum she disappeared from was condemned, their questions looked like they would forever be unanswered. Years later, a cryptic website recruits 5 courageous individuals to explore an abandoned asylum and discover what happened to the girl. Yeah, I mean, it looks interesting. Yeah. But I got that from the trailer, I guess.
Yeah, and good for JWoww.
Yeah,
I mean,
good for JWoww.
I would not expect to be a fan of her work, but I'm happy to see that the movie's getting made.
Yeah, and it looks like an interesting movie. You love found footage.
Yeah, I'm never going to be sad about found footage.
Exactly. You know, one thing that is not on our list, but also found footage that we really should talk about is the creep tapes.
The creep tapes definitely released a trailer. I saw it on TikTok. Shudder has a TikTok channel. We're not sponsored by Shudder, but we love them.
We have to say this every single time.
But yeah, I was surprised to A, come across Shudder's TikTok, and B, I was surprised that this creep tapes look so interesting. I believe it's 6 episodes, 6 newly discovered tapes, and it looks like what you would expect.
Yeah, it looks like Creep. It's like a prequel to the first film, right, or the second film.
Well, it would have to be a prequel to the second film. No
right.
spoilers.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
It seems like it. Yeah, I honestly couldn't say, but it does seem interesting enough that I'll definitely check it out. I enjoyed Creep.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Creep too. It's different than Creep, but I enjoyed it just the same. And I'm a found footage guy, so it was difficult, I think, to sell you on it.
I need to go back and rewatch them because honestly, like, it has been a while and it wasn't my favorite thing. However, I was very negative about found footage for a long time, and I'm starting to come around. Yeah. So I think I need to rewatch, and they're not very long. So if you've never actually seen Creep or Creep 2, definitely give them some love because they're not very long. I believe that they're like less than 90 minutes, both of them.
Yeah.
So it's not a very hard watch. So definitely check it out.
We own Creep 2, but not Creep.
That's weird.
Well, Creep was streaming, and I wanted to see Creep 2, so we purchased it.
Gotcha.
But, I never got around to getting Creep.
Gotcha. Okay, well, give it a watch. We'll probably be watching on Shudder whenever they drop. Do we know if they're dropping all the episodes at one time?
I don't know that, but I think it's November 15th that at least one of them comes out.
Yeah. Cool. So there's a demo for a Condemned-inspired Butcher's Creek.
This game seemed interesting.
Yeah.
It seemed maybe needlessly violent.
I mean,
yeah, but it seems interesting. You get points based on the creativity of your kills. You regain
that's pretty
life.
Cool.
Yeah, you regain health by taking photos of your kills. It's very. It seems dark.
And this demo is available for free. There's like no time limit on when they're gonna get rid of this demo. It doesn't seem like they're going to.
And it seems like the first 30 minutes of gameplay is free.
Exactly, which is kind of exciting, and you can kind of get a feel for the game. There's no release date yet for the game, so it's kind of just a way to introduce yourself, and maybe if you really like it, they'll get you when this game eventually does come out. I believe it's available on Steam.
Yeah, I'll probably be checking it out.
Oh, I know you will.
Once I finish The Quarry.
You really loved it, though.
I did.
And you started it, I think, at the wrong time.
I did. Well, we were just about to have a baby, but also on top of that, I don't want to mess it up. Like, this is the Quarry's a game where
you need to stop.
The kid, your choices determine how the game progresses. It's one of those games where you actually have an impact on the story.
Right.
And I don't know, man. Like, there are characters that I like right now that I don't want to get killed later. I don't know. I have a lot of anxiety about this.
It's like a Telltale game.
It is, and I have so much anxiety about that.
Man, I would just like.
I saved Harvey during the Batman game, and I'm still traumatized about it.
I knew you were gonna bring this up.
I was like, Harvey's my boy. So much trauma. You were like, let him go.
I was like, bye. He's going to become Two-Face anyway.
I was hoping to prevent it. Anyway, so then I had Two-Face without two faces. It was awful. I messed up that game.
Yeah.
I messed up that playthrough. Anyway, yeah, so I need to finish The Quarry.
This is why Vince has anxiety about this.
And Two-Face with one face, it was a mess.
Oh, gosh. You know what looks like a ton of fun?
What's that?
Frankie Freako.
I was so into that trailer.
It
seems
so
like
good.
It seems like if you gave Gremlins a whole bunch of meth. Like it seems like a nightmare and also a ton of fun.
Yeah.
It's definitely a horror comedy.
Oh, 100%. It's going to be released on digital on October 25th.
It's already playing in theaters in some places.
Yeah, it's like got a limited run in theaters. I don't think it's playing anywhere around here.
No, but I've had people have recommended it to me already, and I really do want to check it out. It was on my list, my watch list, and then I finally saw a trailer, and I was like, oh well. I'll definitely be keeping this on my watch list.
Yeah, October 25th, and then it's going to be coming out on Blu-ray via Scream Factory on November 5th.
Happens. I love Scream Factory. They do such good work.
Yeah.
I still will die on the hill that the Scream Factory 4K releases of Halloween, specifically 78, is my preferred viewing of that movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, having it on VHS all the way up through every form of media.
Yeah, this movie looks like a wild ride. It does seem very Gremlins-esque. It's got a very 80s throwback vibe to it. Lots of puppets.
Yeah, monster puppets even.
Yes, and it looks like it is just a fun horror comedy. This is not going to be a movie that is going to change your life in any way, shape, or form. But if you're looking for like a good palate cleanser, this movie seems like it's got some good palate cleanser vibes.
It centers around a 900 number you can call to summon Frankie Freako to freak out.
Right.
Yeah, he's a party guy.
He is a party guy.
Yeah. And our protagonist seems like a little bit of a square, so he needs to cut loose and party with the Freako squad.
Yes, Vince.
I don't know, man. That's probably the best description I got out of that trailer.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I was too busy sitting there going, God, this movie looks like something that I will really enjoy.
Yeah, 80s horror comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Like it just looks like it is so much fun. I'm really digging a lot of the 80s throwback vibes that we're getting from a lot of movies right now. Lisa Frankenstein, Totally Killer. They both had the same sort of vibe, and I'm really
we
really
can talk
here
more about
for
The House of the Devil, which didn't come out this year, but we have that on our list for tonight.
Yes. So we're getting Terrifier, the arcade game.
Seems interesting. It seems like an 8-bit smash 'em up Art the Clown kind of deal.
Yes, it's a beat 'em up arcade game. It's gonna be getting on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and PC platforms sometime next year with no official release date.
I'm into it, but like, give me something grittier. Give me something more to chew on with art. Like, I like the old Ninja Turtles beat 'em up games. I was a big fan of those, and Shredder's Revenge was a whole bunch of fun. But like, I want a Terrifier like asymmetrical game like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I want something like that. I would love a dark art.
Well, maybe you still will get a dark art.
I love the dark arts.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe we'll still get it, but like, this is the first step.
Well, wasn't art in Call of Duty as well recently?
Yeah, they like did a skin for him, I think.
I'm into it. Give me all the Art the Clown you can. I recently picked up an Art the Clown mask from Trick or Treat Studios, although I will say the Tinsley Productions Art the Clown mask looks fantastic.
I know.
They actually used the cast of David Howard Thornton in makeup, and it looks great. I just haven't stumbled across one yet. Maybe we'll have another art edition to the Nerd Nook at some point.
Maybe.
We can get a Santa hat and put it on that one.
Yeah.
He looks like he'd like that.
Yeah.
He's got the Art the Clown Christmas glasses on, so
he does.
That's something.
He does. So he sees you when you're sleeping.
What a weird movie this looks like.
It looks like a lot of fun.
So I'm into Christmas horror, right? Like I like, you know what stands out to me is the Tales from the Crypt segment from the movie Tales from the Crypt. They also translated this into the series. It was on the series. But like that creepy Santa vibe, like it takes something that is so innocent and so pure and just makes it horrific. Although I do worry that kids might see that and get a little traumatized.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the ones that we won't let Spooky Baby watch until they're a little older.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of them. Terrifier entirely.
Yeah.
We probably won't let Spooky Baby watch until they're old enough to understand.
Right.
But I do worry about kids stumbling into this Christmas movie and seeing Santa with an axe. That said, it looks like a ton of fun.
Yeah.
The whole time I was thinking of that Vine though, where like, you better watch out,
you better watch out,
you better watch out. Yeah, just thinking of that Vine the entire trailer.
I mean, the good thing is that this is coming out on VOD, so on November 1st, so we can start our Christmas vibes a little early.
I love the transition season that we're in, right? where spooky season starts to wrap up and we get the Christmas candles out.
Yeah.
And we're still spooky in our heart, right? But like
in our heart.
But in our vibes, we're Christmas.
Right, exactly.
I love that. There's a beard oil that I use, and it is a transitional beard oil called Santa Lantern. And that just sums up.
Not quite Krampus yet.
Yeah, not quite time for Krampus, although Krampus is a good one. But also just, it's Santa Lantern season. Yeah, that's what I'm excited.
Yeah, so we're gonna get I think that we should definitely check this one out. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I will definitely be a fan of that. Black Christmas is on my list to rewatch as well.
Yeah,
I think I'm probably gonna squeeze that in once we get back from Scarefest weekend this weekend.
Yes. We also got a new trailer for The Monkey.
It looks wild.
It looks very wild.
I'm glad this isn't a teaser. I'm glad we got a little bit more context for the story. How just asking, how does Oz Perkins find the time to release 2 movies in a year when he is so meticulous with his filmmaking? I imagine storyboarding a film for him would take a year.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. But this movie, it's interesting because I feel like, at least from the trailer, the cinematography looks very different from both Longlegs and Blackcoat's Daughter.
I still see some of his fingerprints on it though, like the framing and things like that. I don't know whether Damian McCarthy or Oz Perkins or Damien Leone are my 3. I don't know who my favorite active horror director is at the moment.
How dare you?
How dare I
leave Mike Flanagan out of this list?
See, Mike Flanagan is probably he's probably the most competent storyteller of the 4 that we just mentioned. But Oz Perkins has such a strong vision. Damien Leone has such good practical effects. And Damien McCarthy can summon a sense of dread like no one else.
So basically, you just need somebody to be all 4 of these people.
Yeah, probably. I need a modern day Hitchcock. No, they're all 4 of those guys are just fantastic. I'm thrilled.
Yeah, I mean, we're living in good times whenever like this is the issue. Now, the nice thing about this movie is that it comes out right around my birthday. So I know what we'll be doing for my birthday.
Probably seeing that movie.
It's starring Theo James, Tatiana Maslany.
Oh, hey.
And Elijah Wood.
Nice. I always like to see Elijah Wood pop up.
Yeah, but Tatiana Maslany is very exciting.
Yeah, if you watched Orphan Black.
Good job, Vince.
You're probably familiar with that name. Also, She-Hulk.
Yes, she was also on She-Hulk. But if you haven't seen her in Orphan Black, you really should, because she really gives a fantastic
heck of a performances. Yeah, no, it's great.
But yeah, it looks very interesting, and I am very excited to see.
Yeah, definitely check that trailer out. I'm interested to hear what people think of it. I was really excited. I
am also just excited for what Neon is doing as a studio right now. They are producing some of my favorite horror movies at the moment.
Yeah, hands down. Neon is doing some of the most interesting horror art films, and Fuzz on the Lens is definitely doing some of the most exciting, not 80s throwback, but it has those strong practical vibes and whatnot. Fuzz on the Lens, can't say enough about them. If you haven't checked out Stream yet, that just hit VOD on the 15th.
Yep.
Stream's available for streaming, video on demand. But that's a heck of a movie too. Check out our review of it. It really, we had a great time watching it.
Yeah, we will forever sing the praises. We're going to be talking more about it during our watch of 31 Days of Halloween. I don't believe it'll be
October 28th is when we're watching it.
Correct.
You'll be able to see our summary review of it on the 29th.
And you'll probably see us talk about it on a live stream on Halloween. if
yeah,
we
if we
hop
can squeeze
on.
that in, yeah.
If we can do it. We might be able to because trick-or-treating ends at 8.
We're big trick-or-treat fans. We don't go out. No one gives me candy. I have to buy my own candy now.
But we like to scare the kiddos.
We do like to scare the kiddos.
And bribe them with full-size candy bars.
We've been told we have the best house in the neighborhood.
That is true. That is true.
By multiple preteens.
They're hard to impress.
They really are.
So I found out about this movie, and I was talking to you about it, I believe yesterday. Werewolves.
What a weird... Okay, so yeah, I have thoughts, but go ahead.
Yes. So I had not heard... I saw that this movie was coming out. Movie is coming out in December, on December 5th. I cannot find a single thing about it except for one article from June on who is in this film. And the reason that I wanted to tell Vince about it is because Lou Diamond Phillips is in it.
So I love Lou Diamond Phillips. I love the movie La Bamba. This is a horror channel. I'm going to be brief, but yeah, if you look, we got a Lou Diamond Phillips autographed photo up there on the wall. He is outstanding. He's one of my favorite human beings. We had the chance to meet him last year. And so anytime Lou Diamond Phillips comes across the desk, Sarah has to make me aware of it.
Have to.
And so Werewolves looked very exciting. I will say it seems like a horror action movie.
Yes, that's what yeah, it's definitely a horror action
movie. A supermoon causes folks with a mutation to turn into werewolves. It's a year later. They're trying to find a way to prevent it. They have 9 hours to test their solution. It's probably not my cup of tea. I'm not a big action movie person.
Yeah, I agree.
But I will see it if Lou Diamond Phillips is in it. Because
Correct.
I love him.
I know. But also, it looks like they're going a little practical for the werewolves, which I actually appreciate because they could have gone CG.
Yeah.
And that would have been fine.
I mean, yeah.
But I really kind of love that they're doing a practical thing.
I'm way into it.
Oh,
hey, thanks for the compliment.
Oh, hi.
We've not seen Green Inferno.
No.
I should say, looking at the chat now, I've not seen Green Inferno. I need to. I am a bigger fan of that kind of stuff than Sarah is.
Yes.
Hostel is one of my, I wouldn't say favorite movies, but I do really enjoy Hostel. I actually really enjoy it. I think it has some interesting themes, and I think the how do I want to say this? The practical effects are decent in that movie.
I need to rewatch it because I changed my mind on Saw recently. I've been changing my mind on my horror movie preferences lately, which is both good and bad. Well, not bad. I don't think it's bad at all.
No, Eli Roth is somebody I'm becoming more and more of a fan of every time he releases something. I think Thanksgiving is a heck of a movie, and I am like,
when's Thanksgiving 2 coming out, totally Eli?
There's a convention that happens in March where they're going to have a lot of the Thanksgiving cast. And I am very excited. I'm going to get me a John Carver mask, and I'm going to get me some autographs.
Yes, I'm so excited about Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving folks coming.
Where will we put this John Carver mask?
Who knows?
We don't know.
We'll find out.
We will find a way.
We will find out. Like them too.
Yeah. Hostel's pretty great.
And then I'm just going to briefly talk about the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards because they happened on Sunday.
On Shudder.
On Shudder.
We're not sponsored by Shudder. Shudder, if you're watching, hit us up. We talk about you way too much.
But yeah, the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards happened. Man, Evil Dead Rise cleaned up.
They really did.
They got really Best Supporting Actress, they got Best Director, they got Best Creature Makeup, they got Best Makeup Effects. Yeah.
I think your biggest complaint is that some bigger budget things were winning awards that maybe you would have preferred to see some smaller movies win.
Correct.
That said, takes nothing away from those bigger budget movies.
No. I was very excited to see David Dastmalchian win for Late Night with the Devil because that is one of my favorite movies of 2024.
Definitely my top 5, if not higher. I had a great time with that movie.
Yeah, it's my second favorite so far this year.
So
I really loved that movie, and I was really excited to see that.
Well, you like demons, you like cults, you like the 70s. Like, what's not to love?
I know, that's like, it's like right up my alley. Like, I'm like, let's
Practical
do
effects,
this.
possession, it's just your laundry list.
Yeah, I really do. And The other thing that I didn't really love is that the Best TV Show award went to The Last of Us. Nothing against The Last of Us. I think The Last of Us is brilliant. But I wish that it would have gone to like Chucky or Fall of the House of Usher, like something that is a little bit like less mainstream.
We had like personal skin in that game. Like those are two of your favorite shows, like of the decade.
Yes.
And so you were just way invested in that category, much more so than I am. I like the Chucky TV series, but like if you're talking about the big, I don't know, 5 slashers, Chucky's probably coming in lower on my list than yours.
Yeah.
Because he's number 1 on your list.
Correct. Also, I love that they did Best Kill in A Violent Nature, the yoga scene.
If you aren't talking about the yoga scene, are you even watching horror this year? The yoga scene
crazy,
was gnarly.
I just watched In a Violent Nature, so I knew what they were talking about. Thank God, because I think I would have been like, what in the world?
Yeah, In a Violent Nature. I'm sorry, the Evil Dead. Oh my goodness,
Evil Dead.
The Evil Dead Rise was an excellent film.
I loved
it. A great time with that movie. We had a really fun time watching it.
Yeah.
We watched it as soon as we could.
Yeah.
The Exorcist Believer. I enjoyed that movie for what it was. I had a good time at the movies. We went out. We saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
We were excited for it.
Yeah.
And I am a David Gordon Green apologist. I really do. I will go out on a limb and say I tend to enjoy his body of work, from the comedies to the horror movies. I do feel like there's something lacking with that movie. And I wonder how much Blumhouse had a guiding hand in that movie. I know that you were probably a bigger fan of Exorcist Believer.
I have an Exorcist Believer shirt.
To be fair, it was a free shirt.
To be fair, it was a free shirt at Hot Topic, but I said I'll take that as a free shirt from Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that my biggest issue with that movie specifically was in the third act. I really liked the movie. I really liked Norbert Leo Butz in particular because his character was terrible, and I knew that he was a good actor because I love him personally.
Sarah's a Broadway fan as well. That's like the other side of her personality you all don't get to see here on the channel. So Norbert Leo Butz is a Broadway guy.
Yeah.
And I will say we are both theater people.
Leslie Odom Jr. was also great in that movie.
Another Broadway guy.
Mm-hmm.
So you have talented actors in this movie, which again makes me wonder how much
Tony
Blumhouse...
Award winners.
Yes, exactly. It makes me wonder how much Blumhouse had a guiding hand in shaping that story or pushing it in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
I was a big Blumhouse guy for a while there, and now at this point in time, I think I've felt most things that have come out of Blumhouse in the past year or two have been lackluster.
And again, I really liked Exorcist Believer. I went in having zero expectations on what that movie was going to be because
I have to ask, watching Exorcist 3 yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you have a different opinion of Exorcist Believer looking at the rest of the series?
No.
The Exorcist is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
it's been a little while since I've seen Exorcist 2, but I didn't really like Exorcist 2.
And that movie has big problems.
And Exorcist 3 is just like, Exorcist 2 just didn't happen. It basically is like, no.
We're not going to talk about Exorcist 2 is kind of what that movie says.
Yeah, it's like, no.
Well, no, it was based on a book called Legion as well. And so it has its, and William Peter Blatty wanted to try his hand at directing an Exorcist film because he felt like maybe there were some misses.
Yeah, because like he like asked John Carpenter, but John Carpenter was like, dude, you want to direct your own movie? Like, just go and direct your own movie.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I will say that I've started the novel The Exorcist a number of times, and I really haven't been able. It hasn't quite connected with me in a way that was like, I'm going to finish this. I've abandoned that read at least 3 times.
Right.
I may just read Legion if the prose feels right to me. My to be read pile is very long.
I know.
And it has to it has to be a hell yes or a no. It's a no. You know what I mean? Like after a chapter, if I'm not flying through pages, I have to move on to something else because we got content to create.
Oh, I know.
So yeah.
Having. I guess we can start talking about movies that we watched since we're talking about Exorcist 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think honestly Brad Dourif in that movie makes that movie so watchable for me.
You're such a Chucky stan.
I'm not a Chucky stan. I'm a Brad Dourif stan.
That's a fair thing to be a
One Flew
stan
Over the
of.
Cuckoo's Nest. Like, Brad Dourif is an urban legend. Brad Dourif is absolutely incredible, and I will die on that hill. That man is so good. Also, Scott Wilson is in this movie.
Yeah,
and
Herschel from The Walking Dead is in this movie.
Did not realize that, and I was very excited. I think I ran down here and I was like, you didn't tell me Scott Wilson was in this movie. And he was like, I didn't remember. This movie.
Yeah.
I
saw his name pop up.
Literally on the screen when Vince was like watching it, and I was like,
he's not old.
It's like, yeah, no, dude, this was in the 90s.
Yeah. But, well, it was the 90.
Well,
the 1990.
No, I guess they probably did it in the 80s.
Yeah.
But,
no, the movie's fantastic. I think
it's really good.
I don't have any bad feedback on the movie. I know the studio changed the ending.
They did, yeah.
But I really don't have any like negative things to say about it. I love that movie. Every time I watch it, I love it more.
And apparently they actually like can't recover what the original ending was supposed to be.
Really?
So that was like the whole thing, is that they talked about what that ending was supposed to be, and they apparently filmed it, but the studio had them go back and redo it.
And they lost
and
it.
They lost the footage. So fans have tried to piece together what that ending actually is, but it's really difficult because they don't actually have any of the footage.
Yeah.
Some of the footage has just been lost to time.
Either way, I really love the film.
Yeah, it's
I think
pretty
it has
good.
one of the best jump scares in cinematic history. It builds to this jump scare in the room, and the nurse goes back down this long corridor, and you're like voyeuristically looking down the corridor, and that person jumps out.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
It's so good. I was like, ooh. I mean, it didn't make me jump or anything.
No,
but
it's legitimately scary.
It's a good jump scare.
Big fan.
Sorry, we're reading the comments briefly.
Fire in the Sky. I've not seen Fire in the Sky, although I'm aware of it. It was talked about quite a bit in my younger years, as I recall. But I never got around to seeing it. I like alien movies probably more than most. Sarah's less of an alien person, but I don't have a beef with alien movies. That nice juxtaposition of sci-fi and horror is a place that I'm pretty comfortable operating in. I enjoy it. Now I'm gonna always like a dark horror film. I feel probably about alien movies the same way I feel about horror comedies, which is it has to be the right one on the right day.
Correct.
But
yeah,
not opposed to it.
A movie that we both love, though, is Candyman.
We watched Candyman this week, and I didn't think I could like that movie more than I already did.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a big Candyman fan.
I am too, but I really enjoyed it upon rewatch.
I really enjoyed Virginia Madsen upon rewatch.
Yeah.
Typically speaking, I was never a big Virginia Madsen fan. And watching that movie, I was like, holy crap, I love her.
Yeah,
no. She's great in this.
She's great. Trevor sucks.
Yeah, Trevor sucks. Yeah, seriously, he's the worst. I just saw a tweet today from Barbara Crampton. I don't think she made it today, but I did see it today, that she auditioned for the role of Helen in Candyman.
That's crazy.
What a different movie that would have been.
It would have been a very different movie. Yeah. But, I mean, to see Barbara Crampton and Tony Todd in the same movie would have just been, like, too much probably for me to handle.
I wish they could have got her for Stream.
I know. It probably would have been too much for me.
Right.
But Candyman is fantastic. If you've not seen Candyman, and the 2021 Candyman that they did was also very good. If you haven't seen that, I would definitely check that out.
We don't have a mirror in the studio. I can't say his name in here.
Oh, yeah, no.
But honestly, if Tony Todd's going to show up at my house, I'll do it.
Yeah. I've been trying to get that dude's autograph for a while.
We missed him at a convention like 2 years ago. I would definitely be like, Tony Todd, can you sign this for me real quick?
Before you kill me, that would be great.
I'll definitely say Tony Todd's name in a mirror.
There you go. We also watched The Mist.
The Mist is a dark one.
It is.
The CG it's a miss for me.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. If I have one criticism of this film, it is that the CG really just takes me out of it.
It looks like it's 2007. The good news is the monsters aren't the centerpiece of this. What's really scary are the other people you're trapped with.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Marcia Gay Harden's character is like the actual villain of this movie.
She's the Bev. She's the Bev Keen before Bev Keen done keened.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
if you haven't seen Midnight Mass, check out Midnight Mass.
whenever I was watching it, I was like, oh God, I forgot how much of like a bev this woman
Yeah, it
is.
made me really upset. The series is good. I watched at least the first season. I don't know if it got a second season. I thought the series was good, but the movie sticks. It stands for me. I think it holds up.
Yeah, I think so too. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
What a classic.
A
Texas
classic.
Chainsaw Massacre. That movie will always be something that I will revisit. I don't think that there's been a year that's gone by that I haven't given that a watch. And every time I watch it, it's a new experience for me. What really stuck out this time is how funny it is. Jim Seedal's character in this movie cracked me up with that broomstick. Just smacking Sally with the broomstick. Like, it's so ridiculous. And the other thing I'll come back to is I always feel bad. I have such sympathy for Leatherface. Like, I was less afraid of him in this movie, in this watch, than I was intimidated by him. I literally, and there's another channel that said it better than I can. They said, from his perspective, it's a home invasion movie.
I mean, not wrong.
They just keep walking into his house, and like there's that scene where he kind of goes to the window and he's like, "Oh no, what am I?"
Yeah.
Like, I feel awful for Leatherface. He's being put up to this by old man, as he's credited, but the cook Drayton Sawyer, we find his name out to be in Texas Chainsaw 2. It's Drayton Sawyer. He's being put up to this by Drayton and the hitchhiker.
Right.
And you honestly just feel bad for Leatherface.
Yeah.
I also hate demonizing people with disabilities.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to look past that in this film because it is a true classic. It gave us the first final girl.
Yeah.
Sally is the first final girl. It gave us the chase sequence. It definitely does a couple laps of that chase sequence.
It does.
And it gave us the lumbering, mostly silent killer. Another thing that I'm going on about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Another thing I noticed on this rewatch is that Leatherface makes more noise and tries to speak more than I remember him.
Yep.
He's literally like getting some verbiage out there.
An invalid.
They definitely call Franklin an invalid in the opening crawl. Like, poor John Larroquette had to read that line. He called him an invalid. I was like, geez.
I didn't realize that. Like, I've seen this movie multiple times, and I don't know why it just stuck out like a sore thumb to me this time. But
hey, stay spooky. Did. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
We also watched Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
A classic. I feel like we did all of our classics this week.
This was a loaded week. It was a loaded week. Night of the Living Dead is one that is also a new experience every time I watch it too. I alternate whether I think Ben was right for wanting to stay upstairs or not. Because Harry was at least right in saying that there's a million ways to get in. And they found them. I do think the lack of retreat plan in the basement is a problem.
Yeah.
But going upstairs doesn't do Ben any favors. No spoilers from this movie from 1968, but going upstairs doesn't do Ben any favors.
Right.
So everybody sucks here.
Can we talk about how good Russ Streiner is as Johnny at the beginning of this film?
Hands down, such a nuanced performance. And he was just a producer. I don't know how he got roped into being in the movie, but he set out to produce it as part of Image 10. And Russ Streiner is one of the most genuinely nice human beings you'll ever have a chance to meet. If you're ever in Western Pennsylvania at a convention, Russ Streiner will probably be there. Get his autograph. Support this man. He is a living treasure. And, as he gets older and less mobile, he probably needs the support. I don't know that to be true, but I think you should support him. I have him up there on my Night of the Living Dead poster, and I've gotten his autograph twice, actually.
Yeah.
I've spoken to him more than that.
Yeah.
John Russo, another guy who's always going to be at a convention in Western Pennsylvania.
He's hustling.
He really is. Yeah, and his Return to the Living Dead series is nothing to shake a stick at either.
Right.
But this is a classic, and it gave us the modern zombie. Yeah. Or ghoul, as George Romero would call it.
I also loved the Chili Billy.
Yeah, if you are from Western Pennsylvania, you'll recognize Bill Cardille in the movie. Chili Billy Cardille from Chiller Theater. His daughter, Lori, is actually in Day of the Dead.
Yes, yeah. So I loved seeing that, and that was a lot of fun. We also watched Hellraiser.
Boy, another Western Pennsylvania guy, Doug Bradley, although not from Western Pennsylvania, but lives in Western Pennsylvania now.
Yeah.
Doug Bradley is playing Pinhead in that movie, or lead Cenobite.
Correct.
Hell Priest, if you're reading the Scarlet Gospels. And this movie's great, based on The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker, who hopefully we'll be meeting in just a few days at Scarefest in Kentucky. We don't know what lines are going to look like, but I will move mountains. It's going to be one of his last conventions, and I just have to show my appreciation, not just for Hellraiser, But for Lord of Illusions, which scared the pants off me when I was a preteen, I should not have seen that movie when I was as young as I was. But Scott Bakula in Lord of Illusions, what a heck of a movie if you haven't seen it. Scott Bakula. Don't steal the leap.
Don't steal the leap. But yes, Doug Bradley he steals the show in this film.
I don't know how he does it with like under 5 minutes of screen time.
It's crazy.
He steals the franchise.
I know, but like he is so good. And also Kirsty is a very formidable final girl.
I give her a lot of credit for being intelligent. I will say though, that puzzle box seems super easy to solve.
Okay.
She's
dealing with a lot though, to be fair.
Presses the button and it's like
she's got a lot going on.
Yeah, I just don't hand me that, man. I'll accidentally press the wrong button.
Yeah,
and
right.
Then we'll be screwed.
Yeah. And we also watched House of the Devil, which I had never seen. So this was a first watch for me.
Yeah, and you're a Ty West fan.
I am a Ty West fan.
You're a big Ty West fan. A nice 80s throwback.
It is.
Satanic Panic themes.
Yes,
and
which I love.
Noonan. Yeah, oh no, totally. I love Manhunter and I love 12 Monkeys. And that means I love Tom Noonan.
That's true.
And so give me him all day long.
He was great in this.
I love how he can be such a gentleman and so creepy all at the same time. Yeah, I love those characters. Dan Stevens and Cuckoo. If you give me a gentleman who's also ominous, I'm going to be there for it.
Yeah. Greta Gerwig is also in this film.
Yeah.
And I found her to be incredibly charming and delightful.
She's fantastic. I think it has a death in this movie that is nearly as shocking as Hereditary.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Honestly, I was like, oh, okay then.
Yeah.
It kind of like took me a second. I actually think that I swore whenever I watched it. I was like, oh no.
That's not how you light a cigarette.
No. But yeah, it was crazy, and I really enjoyed it.
There's a reason that it has been highly recommended for how many years? What is it, 2018?
Yeah,
something like that.
Something like
I'll
that.
figure it out tomorrow when we do the short. Yeah, no, I had been trying to watch that movie. It was on streaming, and you know, there was back when streaming we first got streaming, and it was like terrible internet connection. It had been a movie that like eluded my grasp for like almost a decade.
Yeah.
And now I'm just thrilled that we had watched. I'd seen it earlier this year.
Yeah.
In preparation for Maxine. And I truly love that movie.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's one I'm definitely going to be revisiting. So you also watched a couple of new films this week.
I did. I saw Mr. Crockett.
And on Hulu.
I saw Beazle.
Yes.
Which I bought on video on demand.
Yes.
Of the two, I preferred Mr. Crockett. I think that's a fun time. It feels like the movie Stay Tuned with John Ritter.
Yeah.
And it felt like Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared.
Yeah.
And it felt like Channel Zero all had a baby.
Interesting.
And Mr. Crockett is another gentleman who is incredibly ominous. But it's about a children's show host who is maybe failed in his life, and in his afterlife abducts children who are children of parents who are bad parents. So he punishes the parents for their ineptitude and takes the children to his realm. And a mother is one of the only ones to survive Mr. Crockett and has to go and search for her son.
Sounds very intense.
He has a cool magic marker like Pee Wee Herman, and he can just do whatever he wants with it. It's awesome. It's awesome. And he has a bunch of like sort of costume mascot friends that are like demonic, and like a chair. Like all I could think of was Cherry from Pee Wee's Playhouse, but it has like fangs. I mean, it's great, man. It's great. He has a clock that's almost exactly like the clock in the Time episode of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. It has fangs. Oh, Mr. Crockett's a really fun time. I would not say that it cracks my top 5 for the year, but first of all, I love to see a diverse cast.
Yeah.
And I really do love to see that. I think it brings up interesting themes in terms of social themes. I love that they don't play into stereotypes with this cast because it would be very easy to do. And I think it's really well made. I think it's really well paced. And if not my favorite movie in terms of like tone and execution, definitely one of my favorite movies in terms of fun factor.
There you go.
I wouldn't call it a horror comedy, but it's definitely very fun.
Well, that's interesting. What about Beazle?
Beazle, I enjoyed some aspects of Beazle, but I don't think it's one of the strongest movies I've seen at all. It's an anthology film.
Okay.
And it is a nice time. If you like movies about witches If you like movies that have like a long overarching story, this witch lives for 300 years and at a certain point needs to have a baby to reproduce. And this witch lives in the basement of a house. We start with the death of a young boy, and we finish with like the young the father gets a new wife because she goes missing as well.
Right.
And that woman has a son, and then we finish with that son. So the father's second wife, the son of that woman.
Right.
Very complicated. Probably not as complicated as I'm making it.
Yeah.
So it's like 2 generations of people living in this house, told over 3 stories, dealing with this witch who lives in the basement named Beazle. And Beazle likes to eat people. So gnarly, gory. Yeah, some eye horror in it, which is cool. Nicely done. Practical effects. I mean, I don't think they're like moving mountains with the practical effects, but they look cool enough.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's well paced enough. The third story is the longest, and I feel like it didn't connect for me for some reason. And I honestly don't know why. But I had a good time with it. I'm glad we own it. I'm probably going to give it a rewatch. And I will admit to being a little distracted when I watched it the first time. But I enjoyed it. It will make my list of 2024 movies. Where it will make that list, I don't know.
Yeah. You also rewatched
All Hallows
Eve.
Yeah, I've been on a bit of a Terrifier kick. I'm still gassed. I'm still gassed up from this movie.
I hadn't noticed.
All Hallows Eve, which I've seen before.
Right.
I purchased it to A, support Damien.
Right.
B, because I'm a completionist. And C, because I just wanted to revisit that realm. I feel like we're probably pushing towards some Ninth Circle stuff in Terrifier 4.
Well, yeah, so I would agree that there's some allusion to that in Terrifier 3.
And so I wanted to revisit that world. What got me was A, how much of a gift David Howard Thornton is. B, what a solid job Mike Gianelli does as Art the Clown for not being an actor. That's a solid performance. C, how awesome the makeup has transformed itself over the years. Art is much more harsh and angular looking now. And D, the thing that I took away from it the most is the Terrifier short is the strongest part of that series, of that anthology. I do like the wraparound story a lot. I think that's cool. And we see Katie McGuire playing the babysitter. She's in the first Terrifier movie. But the Terrifier short is really a fun ride. I would watch that short on its own any day of the week.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen All Hallows Eve and you're a Terrifier fan, you should check it out. Just know it's not David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown, so it's going to be a little bit of a more subdued Art. All the fun, less antics.
Did you watch anything else, or is that it for you?
I think that's all that I watched outside of our 31 days. Yeah. I think that's it.
I think that's it. That's all I had down. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah. So I watched a couple of movies as well.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna be quick about this. So I watched Destroy All Neighbors, which is a horror comedy that came out this year. So this is about a guy who is he is a musician, but he works in like a music studio doing like editing and things like that, whatever those musician people do. I don't really understand it, but he's a creative type and he's kind of in a rut, and he is trying to work on his album, and this new guy moves into his apartment building named Vlad, and he accidentally kills Vlad.
Oh, I thought that would go some other direction here. Yeah. Typically when Vlad shows up, it's not good for the other people.
Correct. But Vlad doesn't really die. So Vlad keeps basically haunting him through severed head form.
Nice.
And yeah,
as you do.
It honestly, and then things just keep like snowballing and spiraling from there. Because he's traveling with like this head that chaos ensues.
Yeah, leave it at home, man.
But Alex Winter plays Vlad, and he is just quite a gem in this film.
Alex Winter seems like a gem in general.
Yeah.
Having brushed near Alex Winter in a con situation. He
Yeah.
seems like a very fun and funny person.
Yeah. He was very funny in this film. I really enjoyed it. I think that if you are a creative person who has ever been in a creative rut before, this movie will speak to you in a very real way. So I quite enjoyed it. I think you would quite enjoy it.
I'll put it on
It
my
is available
watch list.
on Shudder. We're not sponsored by Shudder.
But you should definitely subscribe to Shudder. They still have that 31% off sale going on for annual subscriptions.
They do until the end of the month.
You might want to check it out.
You might want to. Just saying. You could watch the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards there too. So I also watched The Mousetrap.
I can't. Why? So I haven't seen this movie, but I need to know why the mouse can teleport.
I don't know.
Why does he teleport? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I can't. I honestly, I watched the movie and I can't tell you.
Is it fun? Is it a fun?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the thing. When you get, I spent a lot of my time watching the movie going, what the hell is this? And like shaking my head. But it wasn't like, I didn't feel like I wasted my time. It's like an hour and a half. So, it is not that big of a time commitment.
I feel like I'm going to be sitting there going, who is this for aside from the producers to make money?
Correct. There are some moments where it also tries to be very meta and sort of, it doesn't really 100% work, but it made me laugh that they were trying. And I don't know if I was laughing with it or at it, basically, but I didn't it was kind of fun. It was kind of fun.
Okay. Well, kind of fun is better than no fun.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get acting. You're not going to get practical effects that are of merit.
Correct.
So you just hope for some fun with a movie like this.
It's kind of fun. It's got some moments where I was like, oh, this is actually kind of good, and then it retreats it on itself.
Why does the flashlight stop the teleportation?
I don't know.
I just don't.
I don't know.
I actually have to watch this, don't I?
But here's the thing. Yes, you probably do. Oh. But here's the thing. I also just kind of love that they were like, we're just gonna make this movie because the Steamboat Willie stuff is in the public domain.
That's what I'm gonna say here, and I'm gonna take a minute. Any movie that gets made, that's something to love.
Exactly.
At the bare minimum, they got people together. They got actors in a room to show up. They got lights and cameras, and they edited it. They did a lot of work.
They were not going for this. They weren't trying to make this to be the best horror movie of the year.
The writer clearly said, we're not trying to win an Oscar. And at the end of the day, they got it made. And that's something to love, because any horror lifts the boats. The rising tide lifts the boat. They got
actors working. They got crew members working. People got paid. That's all that really matters.
Yeah, it's a good thing for the genre.
And it was, again, I didn't hate it. Yeah. It was just not my favorite thing I've seen this year.
Well, I don't know that they were gunning for that.
So there's that. I also watched Smile, because Smile 2 comes out tomorrow. Not that we're going to see it this weekend because we are going to be at a convention. Yeah. But I kind of just wanted to prep myself because I had actually never seen Smile before.
What did you think of the monster design?
It was kind of a letdown.
Yeah. I mean, I like these stalker movies, these stalker monsters. It Follows comes to mind.
This is very reminiscent to It Follows.
Yeah. And I love their marketing campaign.
Their marketing campaign is brilliant. And honestly, the thing that I loved the most about this movie is the performances. I thought that Sosie Bacon and Kyle Gallner were both very, very good. And Kyle Gallner is coming back for Smile 2.
There you go.
So he is also in Strange Darling. He was in Scream 5. He's been doing everything. He played Vince.
Oh, yeah. So almost a cameo.
Yes, yeah, almost a cameo.
He was fine in Scream 5.
He was, but he was very, very good in this film. And I really loved their performances. I think that this film suffers a bit from pacing. I think they could have trimmed this movie down. It's about 2 hours. I think they could have done it in 90 minutes, maybe 100 minutes. Yeah. It didn't need to be as long as it was.
Well, you see that sometimes. I don't have a problem with that. That's not a deal breaker for me. A lot of people complain about long run times. Oh, it's 20 minutes too long.
I just think that sometimes if you are regurgitating the same things and you're just kind of doing things for shock value at that point, or like it's not progressing the plot along. It's kind of just meandering the plot along. And that's what it felt like through halfway through the movie, that it was meandering a bit. But I thought that the ending, the pace definitely picked up.
Yeah.
The monster design wasn't my favorite thing that I've ever seen. It wasn't terrible.
Do we need to see it though?
I don't think so. I think it would have been scarier if we hadn't.
I mean, It Follows never gives us. I mean, it gives us some creepy things, but never gives us the monster
I think
itself.
that the smile that it imposes upon people is scarier than the monster itself.
Absolutely. That's what I gathered from it.
Yeah.
So I've not seen the movie in its entirety. I've seen snips from the movie, and that's kind of what I took away.
But it's not bad, and I heard that Smile too is very good.
I heard it hits the gas and doesn't let up.
That's very interesting. And then I watched 2 separate revenge movies, which is very interesting.
You watched Revenge?
I did. I watched Revenge, a movie that I didn't think that I was going to like, but I wanted to watch it because we haven't seen The Substance yet, and this is the same director. She has a very interesting style.
I hear The Substance is fantastic, and it breaks my heart every minute that goes past that we haven't seen that movie.
I know. But this film is also very good, honestly. It's a revenge movie, and I'm not going to say what kind of revenge movie it is.
Those movies don't typically resonate with me, but a female director handled tastefully.
She handled this movie, I think, brilliantly. So basically, we have our main character who is on this trip with her married boyfriend.
That's not great.
Already off to a bad start. And he has his buddies come out for this hunting trip. And one of his friends ends up having, you know, with the woman. And he handles it very like nonchalantly, and I'm just like, what in the world? And so then they decide that they need to off her, basically, and you think that they might, because she falls and is like lanced by like a tree, basically. But then she ends up like surviving that and cauterizes it, and then goes back for her revenge. None of this is really a spoiler, because that's exactly the kind of movie that you think that it's going to be. But this movie is very interesting. I think that the themes that they go through with her enacting her revenge and how she goes about it is very interesting. She's a tough cookie, and you know I love that.
Will she make your final girls list? Do we need to revise our list?
I don't know, because she is pretty good. Like, honestly, it's pretty gnarly. And the ending, the last, like the final showdown between her and another character, oh my god, it was so good. Like, the suspense was there. There was a lot of blood. It was pretty cool. Excellent. I really liked it. And then I also watched Hunter x Hunter, which is also another revenge movie.
But you watched it, why?
Because Devon Sawa's in it.
Because Devon Sawa's in it.
And hopefully I'm gonna go and meet Devon Sawa again this weekend.
Nice.
But yeah, I wanted to see this movie. I actually heard that it was pretty good outside of Devon Sawa being in it. So this follows this family who they live out in the wilderness in this little cabin, and basically they hunt for a living. They homeschool their child. They bring, you know, pelts and stuff like that into the town, and that's how they make their money. And that's how they get supplies to, you know, get more, and they live off of everything that they hunt and what they eat. So the whole shebang.
Well, that's one hunter.
Correct. Well, so yeah, so they go out into the woods and they realize this wolf is back. And so Devon Sawa's character tries to go and hunt this wolf, and he comes across like a satanic ritual with a bunch of dead people in it. So then he stops hunting the wolf and tries to go and hunt the person that did this. And that's all I'll say. I will say that the end of this movie is absolutely insane.
Oh, that's interesting.
The end of I was literally like, "Oh crap." They went there, and yeah, it was pretty good. I really liked it. It's a very slow burn, I think.
Yeah.
But it's a very good burn.
Huh.
It's a very good burn.
I enjoy a slow burn, that's for sure.
I think you would like this film. It's very interesting. I don't want to spoil it too much for you if you want to watch it. So
sounds good.
That's what we got.
Yeah, that's what we watched this week. So we definitely packed it in this week.
We did.
And we're going to continue to do that until the end of October. And then we'll get back to doing some books and some comic content.
Yes, exactly. We'll do all that stuff. While Vince is shuffling, I'm just going to go through a couple of the movies that are coming up here. Smile 2 is coming out tomorrow. Ghost Game is coming out on the 22nd. That is coming straight to VOD. That is the one that is produced by Eduardo Sanchez and has Mike C. Williams in it.
Oh yeah, hey, Michael C. Williams. Hopefully we'll be meeting him this weekend at Scarefest in Kentucky. If you are at Scarefest in Kentucky this weekend and you happen to see us there, we're hard to miss. One of us will be wearing a Stay Spooky shirt. Come up and ask for a sticker. We got some stickers to give away. Like if you want one, no pressure. You don't. If you recognize us and don't want to say anything, that's fine too. But we'll be there with Spooky Baby, and you can get a free sticker or two.
Yeah. Your Monster's coming out on the 25th.
Can't wait.
I know. I'm very excited. We're going to have to get tickets for that one. Don't Move is a Netflix exclusive. A seasoned killer injects a grieving woman with a paralytic agent, and she must run, fight, and hide before her body completely shuts down.
That's tough.
That is tough. I was like, woof, buddy, that sounds intense.
Yeah.
Frankie Freako.
Can't wait.
Coming out on the 25th. He Sees You When You're Sleeping.
Can't wait.
VOD on the 1st. Heretic on the 8th. Devin on the 12th of November. And then we're getting into December. We'll talk about December next time.
It feels like there are more movies every week that are coming out this
I know.
year.
I've had to add things to my list.
I mean, they're coming out this year. They had no marketing lead up, no...
I was telling you, Werewolves was one of those things.
Yeah. Even Heretic felt rushed in terms of the marketing timeline.
I can't, like, it feels... for next year, and I've got several movies on this list already.
It's definitely hard to be covering all of these and still kind of catching up on the backlog of films that we want to see or want to rewatch.
Well, that's why I'm hoping when we get out of 31 Days of Halloween that I can start focusing on some of like the 2024 movies just to kind of get them out of the way. And then hopefully I'm able to kind of catch my breath.
And that's not even counting indie movies that haven't hit our radar. And I will tell you, people are reaching out to us every day with check out our short film and check out this trailer we are going to be releasing soon. We should mention The Inn is an indie film. They've reached out to us and asked us to check out their trailer. It looks really fun.
Yeah.
Check out The Inn. And we'll have more to share with you. But there are a ton of films that are out there from this year that we still need to kind of dive into. And hopefully we'll be able to. All right, we're going to play a round of horror trivia. It's the game Horror Trivia.
Indeed.
And the rules are you have to collect, there are 5 weapons on these cards. You have to answer both questions on the card to collect that card and the weapon. First person to get 3 different kinds of weapons wins. And I think we'll play a round. What time is it? Yeah, we got time for at least one round. Do you want to ask or be asked?
I will ask.
You will ask.
I'm going to ask you for this machete.
Oh, a machete.
Which franchise has the most sequels? The Howling or Tremors?
Tremors.
I'm sure.
No. No way. Tremors has like 1 billion films.
I literally was like, he has to be right because there's no way that The Howling has more films than Tremors.
I need to know how many films. Somebody let us know in the comments, how many films does The Howling have? Wow. All right, this is for a crossbow. No, yeah.
Put that over there because you didn't get that.
In Friday the 13th Part 2, what does Jason Voorhees wear as a mask?
A potato sack.
Yeah, that's
It's like
actually
a burlap sack.
So those are both answers. There's two burlap sacks, a burlap / potato sack. So yeah.
There you go.
Who played the main character in the 1957 film I Was a Teenage Werewolf? You've actually been asked this card before.
I probably have. Vincent Karloff.
No. Boris?
Boris
No.
Karloff.
Michael Landon.
I was
Vincent
doing
Price.
like Vincent Price and Boris Karloff as one person. Oh well, what are you gonna do? For a chainsaw.
Okay.
Which horror film was Eli Roth's directorial debut?
Is it Hostel?
It is not.
Oh, I don't know.
It is Cabin Fever.
Oh, Cabin Fever. Ryder Strong. I love that movie so much.
I know, I do. I love that movie too. Which is weird because again, I don't really love Eli Roth.
That's a good one.
It is a good one.
What is the name of the character?
We're tired, guys.
What's the name of the charter boat used to chase down Jaws?
Oh God.
You know this.
I know I do. My brain isn't allowing me to remember what it is.
I don't know if you'd get the second question either.
Oh well. I can't remember.
The Orca.
The Orca. What was the second question?
In this 1985 horror comedy about vampires was Jim Carrey's first starring role.
No, I have no idea.
Once Bitten.
Twice Shy.
Yeah.
No. For a cross.
Okay.
Crucifix.
Yeah.
The Exorcist was the first horror movie to be nominated for what in 1974?
Oh, that would be an Academy Award, an Oscar.
Yes. For best screenplay, I believe.
Yeah.
That's not on this card.
Well, that's William Peter Blatty coming back for you.
I believe that is correct. Psycho was the first American film to show what?
A toilet.
There you go, my friend.
Got me a crucifix. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. For a crossbow, what hangs above Tina's bed in A Nightmare on Elm Street?
Oh, it's a cross.
It's a crucifix.
Yeah.
In the 2006 film Silent Hill, what sound signals the transformation of the town into a nightmarish dimension?
Church bell?
No.
Oh.
I was going to say it's exactly what you think it is.
Oh.
It's an air raid siren.
Ah.
We're not last week we were doing great.
I know, last week was our week. What character is revealed to be a werewolf in the movie Silver Bullet?
I don't know, the main one?
The main one?
I don't know.
The priest.
Oh, yeah, of course it's the priest.
We're not doing well this week, guys. Vince shuffled too hard.
Christian Bale played Patrick Bateman, the homicidal main character in the 2000 film American Psycho, based on the book by which American author?
Brett Eastman Ellis,
but I'll give it to you. It's close enough. You could have just said Eastman. Who is Eastman Ellis?
Who is Eastman Ellis?
What state does the film and comic book miniseries 30 Days of Night take place? In which state?
In which state?
Does the film and comic book series 30 Days of Night take place? Oh, 30 Days of Night, Sarah. Which state?
Alaska?
Yes.
I was like, is it Alaska?
Louisiana.
Louisiana. Oh, it's me. For a crossbow. Can you tell I'm tired? How do the aliens plan to conquer the planet in Plan 9 from outer space? I've never seen this movie.
I've not either.
Resurrect the dead.
I mean, I guess if you want to.
I guess if you want to.
For an axe.
Okay.
Jack Nicholson stars as a werewolf in what 1994 movie? You know this.
A werewolf?
Yes.
In a 1994 movie?
Yes. The title is in the question.
Werewolf?
Close.
Werewolves?
No, it's Wolf.
Wolf.
It's Wolf.
I've never seen that movie.
Oh, yeah. It was all over the marketing whenever I was a kid. That's the only reason I'm aware of it.
Vincent Price starred in this 1959 ghostly classic and invited 5 people to survive the night.
So we're watching this weekend.
Yes.
It's House on Haunted Hill.
I love this movie.
Yeah,
it's such a good one. What big cat does Malcolm McDowell's character turn into after mating with a human woman in the 1982 movie Cat People?
A panther.
There you go.
Cat people.
Cat people. That's a weird movie.
Well, you have no option but a crucifix.
That's
so.
fine. You have no option.
Good Ash, bad Ash. I'm the guy with the gun. Name the movie.
Evil Dead 2. Oh, sorry, Army of Darkness.
There you go. You were so confident.
I was
All right, I'll give it to you. What's the name of the biological weapon used to kill people through the water supply in the movie The Crazies?
I don't remember. I've been asked this before.
I've not looked. It's Trixie.
It's Trixie. That's true, yes.
All right.
You had this before. I'm going to give... Wait, you already have one of these.
You're just trying to get out of it. You're just trying to end
Look,
this.
I'm having a day.
Trying to close this down.
I'm having a day. What brand of doll did Charles Lee Ray possess in the Child's Play movies?
Good guy doll.
Yeah, that's true. In the Japanese thriller Audition, what did the main character use to lure her victims?
An audition?
An audition?
A piece of candy? I don't know.
A dating service.
Oh, I have not seen Audition.
Yeah. Same. I hear it's brutal.
Yeah, same. Who wrote and directed A Nightmare on Elm Street?
Wes Craven.
How many murderers are revealed at the end of the movie Scream?
The original?
It just says Scream.
All right, well, so there's 2.
Correct.
Correct. You had to check. Was this the Wes Craven card?
Yeah, seriously.
All right. Well, I'm going to give you a crossbow.
You're trying to end this. You're shutting it down.
I'm not. What 2005 movie directed by John Gulager was the first horror film winner for Project Greenlight?
Oh, you've asked me this before, and I have no idea. I still have no idea.
It's Feast.
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 All right. For the win.
Well, I don't deserve that today.
In the 2012 movie The ABCs of Death, how many stories were included in the film?
26.
What 2018 film unravels cryptic and terrifying secrets about the Graham family ancestry?
The Graham family?
Yes, 2018. Talking about ancestry. It's a film you've seen in 2018. It's a film we're watching.
Hereditary?
Yes, I was going to say it's a film we're watching tomorrow.
Tomorrow!
And you win.
I'm so excited. I can't believe I won.
Yeah,
I did not deserve that.
This was a rough go, you guys. And that being said, we were both very tired from being up late watching horror films and being parents to an almost 1-year-old. Spooky baby's going to be having a birthday soon. Yeah. A little Scorpio baby.
Yes, indeed.
So we are going to wrap it up. That said, be sure to subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out. Keep posted for shorts every day, talking about the 31 days of Halloween and beyond, and long-form videos coming after we get back from Scarefest weekend in Kentucky. If you see us there, we got stickers for you. Be sure to ask. And as always,
stay spooky.